On a calm June morning, the atmosphere is charged with anticipation. Today marks a crucial turning point, the culmination of their classroom experience. They're about to face the TCOL exam, the final state licensing test that could make or break their police careers. It's serene outside, but inside each recruit, the stakes are sky high.
There's a sense of confidence, but also a little bit of nervousness too. So you know this information. Each instructor has passed down everything that they know. Everything that we've ever done for like the past 6-7 months is now about to come to light when we go testing.
You get there and everyone's nervous, but everyone knows that everyone's gonna pass. You know, we all feel comfortable with everything that we've learned, and we all feel ready to take it. But you get in there and your nerves just come back up right when you sit on that computer and you got to put your information in.
I was nervous, but not nearly as nervous as I thought. I had woken up and, I was like, I prepared for this test really well. I'm just gonna go in there and do my best. That's all I can do.
Just wanted to reach out to you this morning, and I pray that you watch over all of us, and I pray that you give us the proper information that we need. We've been studying for this for 27 weeks. We've been preparing for this moment for 27 weeks. Hard work, dedication.
This was it, and you've done all you can to prepare, and you either know it or you don't. So it wasn't too nerve-wracking, but at the same time, I had confidence that I would pass it.
With a testing duration that ranges from 2 to 3 hours, recruits must be razor-focused. They're allowed to bring identification and their nerves into the exam room, nothing more. The exam covers everything they've learned in the academy, from legal procedures to use of force policies. It's an exhaustive assessment designed to measure their comprehensive understanding of law enforcement.
Right when you press submit, you'll go to the printer and you'll look and it'll tell you that you've passed or that you didn't, and it'll tell you your score basically. So for me personally, I kind of sat there for a little bit like, I'm about to press submit on this test. I feel good, but you're nervous. You're literally going to know here in the next seconds of what you made.
Once you submit that test, there's no going back. By the end of the exam, I had finished it and I stared at my screen for like 15 minutes before I pressed the submit button.
You just want to hit that submit button, but you're just not sure. That was really, for me, it was about 5 minutes before I hit the submit button to really just go ahead and send it, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, I sat there with the submit button because I didn't see anybody get up, so I was not going to be the first one. And I was nervous about hitting that submit button because, what if I didn't make it or anything? But I was pretty confident in myself. So some people had sat there for a little bit longer, apparently. I sat there for about 5 minutes. And then I finally just said whatever. I think somebody had, I think Holloway maybe had gotten up and gotten his grade. And I was like, okay, that's it. He went, I'm going. So I pushed submit and got up there.
Due to the confidential nature of the TCOL exam, our cameras weren't allowed in the testing room. Within a few hours, the first recruits start to complete their exams.
You got to sit with that submit button, and you're just like, hopefully I made all the right choices. So then you push it, and she looks at you, and she either gives you a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and I got a smirk, so I was like, okay, maybe that means I passed. So I ended up passing, so.
I remember just staring at her, and she was just sitting and staring at her screen, and she hadn't said anything. And I started almost panicking, but it's only been about 5 seconds, and then she just real quick, just like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was the biggest relief of my life.
I called my sisters. My mom was working, but I called my sisters and told them about it. that's the first thing you want to do, be able to tell your family that you passed it, because just how you're nervous, they know you're going to take that test and they're nervous for you, you know. They're at home also praying for you to pass it. They're at home. They know you're going to pass it, but it's still something they're worried about.
When I found out I passed, I immediately called my wife and let her know that I was a peace officer now. And she was like, she told me that she didn't have any doubt. She knew when she saw my number pop up on her phone that I was calling to tell her that I passed.
It's a huge thing that we just accomplished. So you go and call, some people cry and they call their mom or their loved one and they tell them like, I passed my TCOL test, like I'm certified.
We got done with our test, and I think we went out to lunch all together, and right after lunch, I think everyone's back to reality of this ain't over yet. I mean, it was a big step, but the biggest step is yet to come, because we knew the SWAT week was coming up. And I mean, it's a hard week. Everyone tells us it's a hard week, and it lives up to its name.
We know you know the law and the code and all that. So does TCOL. But now we need to see, the Amarillo Police Department needs to see, do you know how to apply this and this at the same time?
You have to be able to put everything together, from everything you've learned, the laws and everything, to what you can do, can't do, to actually the DT stuff, which is actually being able to put someone down. I mean, the instructors are there for you to pretty much beat them up so you can learn about on your mistakes or the things you do right.
SWAT week is you go in there and they will want to see that you put it all together and that you're going to be effective. From day one, just hearing stories about SWAT week, it scared me. It frightened me. Just the fear of failure is my biggest thing. That anxiety never left throughout the academy, and the closer you get, you'd be looking, we have a schedule binder, and you'd be looking through that binder, and then it would just be creeping up week by week by week, and you didn't know what to expect. You've heard things over here, you've heard things over here, it's not that bad. You've heard things over here, it's worst week of my life. So
High-Risk Patrol Procedures Week, also known as SWAT Week, is designed to stretch the recruits to their limits. This intensive training puts them in scenarios where they must apply everything they've learned under extreme stress. From mock crowd extractions to handling violent suspects, this week tests not just skill but mental and emotional resilience. It's a week notorious for thinning the ranks. Not everyone makes it through. Due to the extreme focus required from all participants, our film crew wasn't permitted to film this portion of the academy. The APD has provided footage from a past academy to give us a glimpse into this critical training stage. Viewer discretion is advised.
I talked myself out of a lot of fights in those scenarios. The instructors want to know that you will engage if you have to, if it's needed. And a couple of scenarios I did have to engage and get into a fight. But for the most part, I was able to talk my suspects into custody without fighting.
I knew going in, my biggest challenge was command presence, because throughout the whole academy you do scenarios, and that was something that I've always struggled with. And I had told myself that couldn't happen that week, right? That's a final test. You have to pass if you want to stay. So I had told myself I had to do it that week. Thank God everything played out well for me. On the first couple of days, I had to pass pretty much all my scenarios and everything. And every time the instructors had told me the command presence was great. And so that was a big motivation for me, that I was able to fix that to help me go through the last couple of days of it. Like I said, we lost 3 of us throughout the week. And that wasn't easy, obviously. By now, we had been together through almost 30 weeks together. We were all friends. They're our brothers and sisters, and seeing them go obviously wasn't easy. Every time one of the three came in and told us that was it, I mean, that was a tough moment for us every single time, but it also kind of pushes you to keep going, right? As they're your friends and everything, they tell you they want you to do well, so you're also doing well for them.
There's been times that I didn't think I was going to make it either, and so to see them actually not make it and leave us and know what they went through and know how much work they put in to get to that point really was a downer for me.
But yeah, it's a hard week. Obviously not everyone that went into that week made it out of that week. So it's a proud moment on that Thursday to be able to say you're done with it, that you passed, that you're one of the ones that stayed. So I think even on Thursday, we get done with the last scenario on SWAT weekend, and we're like, everyone was like, are we done? Is this like actually true that we've made it?
Everybody that had made it, we were all standing there together, and it was even, I mean, we were best friends at this point, almost all of us, and it's just a real good moment. We finally look at each other and we're like, we did it. Even though you go out there and doubt yourself as much as you can, you get anxiety and you fear failure. It was just a really good feeling to be like, I'm here, I made it.
As soon as we were done with our last scenario, we weren't really treated like recruits anymore. The guys welcomed us to the Amarillo Police Department team, and that was very fulfilling and satisfying for all of us to be part of that now.
You're just like, I did it. I passed SWAT week. So now next is graduation. It's just amazing. Like, I don't think I've been in sports, I've won a lot of stuff, but nothing's ever been this rewarding as the hard work I put into all this.
That Friday, we had the blood drive, and I think that's a moment you finally feel some relief that you really are done with the week.
After a grueling SWAT week, the recruits participate in a community blood drive. A welcome change of pace. This event allows them to interact with the community and be celebrated by fellow law enforcement members. It's a moment to catch their breath, knowing that the most challenging parts of the academy are now behind them.
I feel like the reason our community is so supportive is because we have a really good chief. Our chief makes sure that we are involved in the community as much as possible. We have our neighborhood police officers, our NPO guys. They're out there doing functions, holding cookouts, closing the gap between police officers and normal citizens. We represent a department who cares about the people here in Amarillo.
We've got smiles on our faces. We're out there serving food, and everybody's just as happy as can be, and just congratulating us and saying thank you for wanting to be the police. We need police, and there's thousands of people like that. And we just go out there and have a good time with these people, and it's just really good to see very good community support from our area. I know that a lot of places don't have that, which would be really hard, but it's really good to see it here.
It's all about growth, right? So these police officers, these instructors who give us these tools, they're not where they are because right after they got to the blood drive, they were like, oh, this is it. Like, I don't have to do anything else. Like, you still have to study. You still have to learn and grow and want to be better.
Many times we counted down the weeks, right? Especially at the beginning, you think about it and you're like, we had 30 weeks left of this thing, right? And it feels so long, but as you go day by day, you keep learning, and you keep getting closer to each other, and those weeks fly, man. They fly, and the day gets here way faster than you think it's gonna get here. I knew I was gonna try my best. I knew I wasn't gonna quit. But even on that first sergeant time, when we sat down with Sergeant Ogden the very first time, he asked me what was I anxious about, what was my fear, and I told him my fear was to not be able, to not be enough, right? To not be able to go through it. And I would just tell myself to be more confident and believe in myself more than I did that day. Obviously now we've gone through a whole lot of things, and I feel more confident in myself. I believe more in myself of what I'm capable of doing now than I did back then.
It's, you're gonna struggle with things, but you're gonna be fine. Just gotta push through, just do what they tell you. You're gonna mess up, but the biggest thing would be you're gonna be fine. I just need somebody to tell me that most of the time. You're gonna be fine, then I'm okay, I'm all good.
Is like the dedication, the perseverance I've learned, and the hard work you put into things comes out of it, because I feel like I've always kind of just been okay at things, and I've always been okay with that. But here, they make you push your limits, and I've never pushed my limits like I have here. And I learned a lot of life lessons, and I would never have learned a lot about, I learned more about myself in this academy than I have through my whole life.
I was nervous every day, but I would just tell myself, hey, calm down, you've got this. And just keep moving, don't quit.
Would the recruits of the 100th Amarillo Police Academy please come forward to be sworn in?
Solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of police officer of the state of Texas, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God.
You see a successful 12-person academy, but the people who are really responsible for that are the ones who are spending time, hours and hours. We're here because we have the will, but we wouldn't be here without the cadre or the instructors pouring out their love and passion into us.
I'm still young, but I see this as being my career, right? So I want to be here as long as I can. Hopefully, as time goes on and I get more experience, become a better patrolman, but also go into a unit or something more specialized.
I just want to make an impact. I just want to do my job and do it well. I just want kids that come from where I'm from to look at the police as their friends, as someone who's there to help.
It'll mature you to become what you need to be a great police officer. This program will take you to another place you've never been.